the next point, which does kind of link back into, console optimization and how things will be developed performance-wise, will every single interior be enterable?
Now this is an interesting one. I actually went over this in my video the other day on my channel, that it potentially could be the case that every interior may be enterable. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, if any of you guys didn't keep up with the leaks from last year in early December before the trailer launched, that a day prior, that one of Rockstar's North, one of their art directors at Rockstar North, Aaron Garbett, apparently his son's friend somehow recorded gameplay of GTA 6 on his personal computer, and it was actually a playable build of GTA 6, obviously within the developmental stages, but it was only a 15-second clip showing Vice City and the skyline, but apparently he was replying to someone on because it leaked on TikTok, I think, from what I can understand.
Yeah, someone messaged him on his TikTok account and he replied back. Yeah, and apparently he was saying to someone that Rockstar planning to ensure that 70% of the buildings are enterable. Now that is a pretty big statement. Obviously, he's just leaking this information, whether it's verifiable, whether what he's saying is true or not. He did take a photo with Aaron Garbett, so he did have some physical contact with him. Whether he has insider info or not, and whether Aaron Garbett said it to him or not, we don't know, obviously. We have to, of course, take it with a massive pinch of salt, but it is pretty interesting to see if that does end up being the case. That is absolutely insane. What's your thoughts on it? Yeah, exactly what you've just said. I think that I want to believe it. I want to think 70% of the interiors, because obviously that's just is incredible. Like there is no way, there's not even a way to physically comprehend that and to imagine that being a reality for the game. So I'm kind of hesitant to believe it, because I don't want to set expectations that are unrealistic, but at the same time, we know that, for example, with procedural generation, creating interiors set from an AI system, a set list of models and stuff, that interiors can be altered and varied. These are systems that games developers use, where they can literally create 4 walls and create an interior for it by clicking a few buttons, because the technology is there to create varied interiors through procedural generation for interiors. But I think it all comes down to if the consoles can handle that. Now, of course, obviously not everything's rendered in, everything's localized rendering, so as you get closer to objects, more things render in. But let's just go off an example that there could be across the whole map, potentially, I don't know, 30 to 60,000 establishments across the whole map.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously that's not just buildings, that's 30 to 60,000 rooms, individual rooms and buildings. Yeah, I mean, when you start throwing numbers like that at it, my brain goes back to reality and goes, that's not very likely. But at the same time, it's like, well, hang on, if it is 70% of that, if it's 20% of that, that's insane. Basically, I don't know, but even 10% of the buildings being enterable is still an obscenely large amount of numbers.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Rockstar Wizards, man, they we were talking about earlier with the frame rate and them pushing the power of the consoles. I can definitely see it happening, but man, it will be insane if that ends up coming to fruition. There was also Jason Schreier's article that came out in July of 2022. Now, I've gone over this article numerous of times, as you have as well, that there will be way more interiors than any other previous GTA. Now, he's obviously very reputable, so that's adding to the validity of what this leaker has come out with. And also, as well, in addition to this, we did see, officially from Rockstar within Trailer 1, that those buildings within Vice City and even on Ocean Drive, through those windows there, the ceiling light were visible. There was plants, there was TVs, lamps, and paintings. So seeing that Take-Two also as well followed a pattern of artificial intelligence, to uniquely how would I say, in terms of making sure that it's uniquely randomized throughout each interior. So maybe we could be seeing different types of unique interiors all the way throughout. That could be something that could be really, really interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well, a lot of people have asked me as well about Spider-Man 2, where they created the parallax effect for interiors.
Yes.
Now, whilst that is possible that Rockstar would use a similar technology, I feel like Rockstar would rather just have a closed door that you can't enter rather than falsify an interior. When talking about GTA 5, that was a console that was made for the PS3, and to see how far they could push that game on the PlayStation 3, to see what they could do. I mean, Red Dead 2 was made for PS4. They haven't made a game for PS5 yet. So seeing how they could stretch the capabilities of the size of buildings, rooms, interior generation for the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, and maybe in the future
the next gen of Xbox, I don't think it's a massive stretch to assume that Rockstar has a way to work around this and make interiors work on a large scale.
And to your point as well with them just, like, for example, like, you know, when you walk into a room within, walk into a door within, when you're attempting to open, a door within Red Dead Redemption 2, that sometimes the doors are just locked, so that could be a way that they could try and...
They can manage the output of the console.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah.
Do you have any more thoughts on this point?
I don't think so. Like, yeah, everything we know officially from Rockstar within Trailer 1, and obviously unofficially as well, it's shaping up to be pretty awesome, but we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, 100%.